Good morning, millennials.
Welcome back to The Toast and happy Monday. Yeah.
Claudia, today is a blessed day.
Why?
Because this is our last full week of not being together.
Okay, I like it.
So to put a positive spin on it, it's actually our last full week of doing remote podcasting for a while. And I know you love remote podcasting. So cherish every day.
Climb every mountain. You're right. Okay, love the perspective, the shift as Tinks would call it.
We have so much to discuss today.
It's insane.
It's insane how much we have to discuss. So much
Can
TV.
you just, by the way, remind me what we have to discuss? Because I didn't think that we had that much to talk about.
Okay, I'm going to go from back to front because if I start with the first topic, we're just going to start talking about it.
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. So much TV I caught up on. I'm finished with The Valley. Are you finished with Rehonge?
No, of course not.
Okay, I'll find somewhere to put my Valley thoughts. Then, of course, Fast Five Stories. I would say they're top tier.
Oh.
Then catch up from the weekend. I actually have so many fun thoughts to share from the weekend. But first and foremost, our merch collection is dropping on Tuesday, and we are each wearing merch from the collection. I am wearing the Lavender Low-Key Classic set. The collection drops tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time at shoptoastmerch.com. Calamity over there.
Yes,
Calamityville.
Dropping everything. Yes, as Jackie was so eloquently promoting our new merch. Jackie and I wear size medium and everything. If you want to go for a more oversized look, for us, we wear mediums and that fits well. It's not crazy baggy. I wish. Size medium. If you do want that more oversized look, especially for the crew necks, I would go one up.
Yeah.
We've got t-shirts, we've got a hat, we've got tons of crew necks and sweatshirt sets. You can buy them separately, you can buy them together, mix and match sizes. It's so fabulous.
We've got totes. The totes are so cute.
I think that's my favorite item.
It's my favorite item. The designs are so cute. You can see everything on our Instagrams. We'll keep posting. You can see all the details from all of the little outfits because every outfit kind of has their own thing going on.
Little personality.
Everyone has their own personality. And so it's all dropping tomorrow, our summer collection. We're so excited.
It's going to be fabulous. That's 10 a.m. Eastern time at shoptoastmerch.com. Not to be confused with bergdorfgoodman.com. That happens to us a lot when people see some of the looks we are churning out. So just stay off bergdorfgoodman.com and on shoptoastmerch.com.
And as always, we have a lot of quantity of everything, but per usual, things sell quickly. So I would just say make haste.
I would say make haste, especially I think as it pertains to the t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's kind of and it's the same exact t-shirt we used to make the last girly one, which was probably our best-selling item ever. This I think is even cuter. I work out in those shirts, the girly shirts, every single day. It is the best shirt.
I do everything in that shirt. When I'm done with the show and wearing whatever I'm wearing for the day, whether I need to cook, whether I need to parent, whether I need to go to the park, go for a walk, work out, I put that shirt I put on every single day.
Yeah. So we have another version of it dropping with such a sick design. Check it out. I meant to ask you actually prior to the Fast Five, but let's have an offline conversation online. Do we have a story of Charlie XCX versus Taylor Swift?
No.
Okay, do you know what's going on? Because I want to get your opinion on it.
Oh, okay, but I can't give my opinion if I don't know what's going on. I know you're going to brief me, but can you give me every detail?
Yes, okay. So Charlie XCX has a new album that's kind of having a moment for her. She's kind of a small artist.
I saw Brat.
It's called Brat. And in the UK, where she's from, it was almost going to be number one, except Taylor blocked her. Now, Taylor, what's the album? TTPD has been number one in the UK for X amount of weeks. And Taylor's trying to break this record. It's actually her own record for most consecutive weeks in the UK number one album. And the way she does that is very strategically. She keeps releasing new versions with, live songs on it. And a lot of people are coming for Taylor, being because she blocked a couple of weeks ago Billie Eilish from going number one in the UK. And this week, Charlie XCX almost had her first number one. She didn't. Taylor's album stayed number one again.
And what happened in the US? Oh, because Charlie's from the UK.
Yeah, I don't think she was even had a chance to make it number one in the US. This all happened in the UK, and people are arguing both sides. A lot of people saying Taylor is all about women empowerment, but she blocked Billie, she blocked Charlie. I of course feel completely differently about it, and yes, you could say I'm blinded by my loyalty to Taylor, but I also think if it was anyone, I would feel this way. If somebody's 20-week-old album beats yours, yours was never going to be number one. Like,
no, like it
you know
might
what I
have
mean?
been, but there was a better album.
Right. And like if it was the number one album, it would have been the number one album, not an album that's literally been out for 5 months.
Yeah. And if it wasn't the number one album, TTPD, then people wouldn't keep streaming it when she releases. Like the cream rises. And Brat rose pretty high, but like there was something creamier.
But then a lot of people are now like just dissecting the relationship between the two of them. And I remember literally talking about on this show, Charlie XCX opened up for Taylor on the Reputation tour with Camila Cabello. And I remember like the first interview she did afterwards, I feel like it was with Pitchfork, but I don't know that to be exact. She like kind of clowned on the whole experience, like kind of making fun of Taylor's fans. It was just very much giving like biting the hand that fed you energy. That was like a stadium tour, Charlie XCX. She's not huge. And even back then she was much smaller. And it was just sort of like kind of a rude thing to do. And I'm sure Taylor like clocked it and was like, okay. And then there's a song on this new album that Charlie XCX released that people think is about Taylor. Now, it's not like a crazy diss track, but there's layers to this relationship. So I'm sure Taylor wanting to stay number one had nothing to do with Charlie XCX. It's about this record she's trying to beat. But when she found out, like I'm sure she wasn't mad. Same with Billie Eilish, you know, like
right.
I'm not gonna, you know, stop doing what I'm doing for you. You've just, you know, said 4 mean things about me in the press.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, how can you be for women, Taylor, when you're stopping other women's successes?
I don't think she's stopping other women's successes. And also if she stops what she's doing so that they can succeed, like, isn't that kind of condescending? Like women can't succeed on their own. And if a woman stays at number one, which is Taylor, then women are at number one. And maybe if Taylor slowed it down, like someone else would hit, maybe a man would be that number one. Maybe all the people, because the people who spent their time streaming TTPD, they wouldn't have done that. What would they have been listening to? Maybe propping up something that wasn't Charlie XCX.
And then there's also another element. Charlie XCX dates someone from the 1975.
Okay.
So it's just all interconnected. Maddie Healy.
Yeah. Okay.
Just briefing you on what the kids are talking about.
Okay, yeah. IDC.
We have House of the Dragon recap, which I'm assuming we'll do after the Fast Five because it deserves its own moment. We are so back.
Oh, you're not going to like what I have to say.
What? But I mean, we are so back. Like, with our recaps.
Oh, yeah. You're not going to like what I have to say.
Yeah, well, I think I know what you're going to say. There was a time where I think the culture was sort of waiting with bated breath to see what Jackson Turdy were going to say about the Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Like, we are so back. It's my favorite show to recap. We don't even really recap any scripted shows except House of the Dragon. And it's just so fun to have something to live for again, you know?
Yeah, you're not going to like what I have to say.
Okay.
And I don't want to say it now because then we'll get into a recap when we have to put it at the end for brevity's sake.
Zip it.
But it's gonna be sad to watch what you just said.
You don't want to recap it anymore?
No. Well, I'm not saying.
So people on TikTok were coming for me saying that your Oura ring really should be on your index finger if you want accurate results. Did you know that?
No.
It's like the best option would be your index finger. The second best option would be your middle finger, and the third best option would be your.
Okay, well, for the size
ring.
I got, my option, I'm going to keep it on my middle finger and my ring finger. And then sometimes, like when I'm sleeping, I put it on my ring finger so it's a little looser. I go back and forth between my middle and ring.
Just keep that in mind. I didn't know that like this was a thing.
My index isn't really in the cards. It would be too tight.
My index is not an option either.
My
index finger is too fat.
If that were the case, Aura would have told us when we were sizing. Like it would say, this is to be worn on your ring finger size, on your index finger, size it for your index finger.
I'm just sharing the knowledge with you that I have come across, and you can do with it what you will.
Maybe it's even a little more precise, but like I think it's fine. We get the gist.
We got the gist.
Gist equals gotten.
Tell me about your weekend. How was Father's Day?
It was so great. We had such a jam-packed weekend. On Saturday, we went to the Science Museum.
A learned crew you are.
Yeah, no, and it was a really great museum. I like kind of was freaking out because it will sound silly to say now, but at the time, like I really thought that DJ James Kennedy was DJing at the Science Museum.
You guys, Jackie is texting us all these amazing pictures of her and her family at this fabulous museum. They're learning, they're loving. And then she goes, you guys, I'm pretty sure DJ James Kennedy is DJing the museum. And I said, well, what on earth would make you think that?
So I'll tell you what made me think that. So the music was amazing, by the way. And it was like club music sort of on the ground floor, like where the cafe was. And one, then two, the MC comes on. And I'm pretty sure they said like, it's DJ James Kennedy. Like that's what I heard. Okay. So I was like, did they just say James Kennedy? And then I'm listening
Did anybody else hear that? Like, does that corroborate that story?
I don't know if he heard the announcement at all. So I'm like, I think they just said DJ James Kennedy. And the music sounds like a DJ. And it's like a fabulous museum. Like, maybe they have resident
Budget.
DJs. So I go to his stories and I see that he is at Live. He's at Live.
Live Beach.
Live Beach, which I just saw Live. So I'm like, okay, great, Miami. Like, he's here. And the music was still really good. I heard the announcement again. And we're like walking through the museum. And I'm like, I need to go find out. Like, I cannot rest. I'm literally looking at the museum's Instagram account, seeing if they were like promoting DJ James Kennedy. But I was like, let me just walk past the booth and see if it's him. It's like a local radio station that was doing the music for the day. I went to their Instagram account. I didn't see them promoting James Kennedy. So I'm like, I have to see with my own 2 eyes. So I went to see, and it was certainly not him.
No, and I was on this journey sort of with you, and I went to James's Instagram as well. And yes, he was at Live Beach, which the Fontainebleau Miami Hotel opened up a location in Vegas. They have a Vegas beach club called Live Beach. So he wasn't even in the state. And that would have been, and I do think there was a time where, yes, James Kennedy would be booking gigs like that. But I actually think like post-Scandal, he's doing, beach clubs in Vegas, not, local museums in Florida.
I know. Well, I wish you had you didn't see
it.
No, you didn't see the Vegas thing. Like, you didn't tell me Live Beach is in Vegas until after I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Like, then I wouldn't have had to walk all the way over. But like, literally, I'm pretty sure they said James Kennedy, and then what I saw on his Instagram, it looked like Miami. So I'm like, it's him.
No, that's so funny.
It was so funny. But no, you guys, he did not DJ the Science Museum this weekend, unfortunately.
That's such a shame.
So classic.
And what else?
Yesterday we went to the beach. We actually had an amazing day thanks to one of our new sponsors.
Yeah, they're not a sponsor.
They're not a sponsor today.
And I don't want you to spoil it.
So I'll save like talking about my experience with the sponsor for another day. But it was just a great Father's Day weekend in general. And what can I say? Fun was had.
That's amazing. I had a different sort of week. I played golf on Saturday. I made Margot come with me, and she was like just as bad as me, but we had good times, And actually after lunch, I said we can keep playing. Usually I'm like lunch and done, but I was having a good time. We had a couple of spritzes. Of course, our club now sells spritz because we've been a member for 3 weeks, and that was far too long for Ben. He got that shit sold in almost immediately. It was honestly quite impressive, and it's really a perfect golf drink. So I was having fun. I had a good time. I played like terribly, but it was all in good fun. I got tan, got my steps in, things of that nature. And then Father's Day was yesterday, which was, Father's Day, kind of boring for me. I did have breakfast with Ben's dad, which was nice, but then I just kind of like did, lonely girl things, got a manicure, made some returns, went for a run.
It's so crazy, at least for me, and I wonder how other girls feel who are like in our position, but like Father's Day like used to just be like, oh, sad for me day.
Awkward.
Just like sad for me, like I'm sad.
Yeah.
But then like once you have kids and it becomes about your husband, like I literally forgot that I used to be like a victim of this holiday. Like my friends were texting me and they're so sweet and they're like thinking of you, love you, and I'm like, why? Like
all your
forgot.
friends texted me too. It was so sweet.
Yeah, they're such sweethearts. So just know like it's not permanent. And one day like you'll find the joy in the day once again. And I literally like forgot that I was supposed to be sad. You should be sad.
Fabulous to hear.
Yeah. And I wonder if other girls who have like lost their dads who have kids like feel that way now.
Yes,
where
Lord
like,
Elizabeth actually posted something really sweet. She was like, this used to be a day like I would kind of dread and definitely stay off social media. And today she was like so excited to like wake up and like share a post, all these pictures of her partner. Like so cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cute.
It's healing.
It is. It's kind of the circle of life.
Speaking of the valley, there's an episode where they're fishing.
Speaking of the valley,
there's an episode. Speaking of the circle of life, there's an episode where they're fishing and they catch a fish and they throw it back in, but they killed it before they didn't realize, but it was dead when they threw it back in. And they watch as a seagull comes and swipes the bird.
The circle of life.
The circle of life. So Danny starts singing, but Jax is like, you can't like use that song. We're on a television show. So it's the triangle of life now.
I love when they break the fourth wall and like share things like that. That's like when people don't realize, and I think we only discovered this a few years ago. Like if you ever are at a party that's being filmed for a reality show, there's no music playing. It's like kind of an awkward party.
Sad.
There's no music because it's an issue with the copyright.
Maybe you could have royalty-free beats.
Perhaps RFP.
I feel like recently, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe they've just done a better job of it, but I feel like recently they do play music on reality shows, but they have better technology to take it out.
Oh, I had felt that it was like designated music playing time.
DMT.
Like it's kind of just carved out in the schedule. That's what I assume now when I watch reality shows where there's like a party.
DMPT. Interesting. Because I feel like AI could cut out the background music, no problem.
That's what AI like should be doing.
Has anyone asked AI?
For sure. There's for sure a software.
Like AI is crazy. AI is really the closest thing we have to magic.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What if you just called AI up?
Yeah. Wrote in your chat box.
So stories, HOTD. Anything else before you want to dive in? Anything else you want to share? Hopes, dreams, wishes for the future?
Oh, hopes, dreams, wishes for the future. I just wish, for toasts like this forever, La.
1,000%.
What about you? I'm also wishing for her haircut, which, you don't have to wish for. You just have to schedule.
Oh, that's so unfortunate because you know what? If only you lived here. I actually have a haircut scheduled with our girlie Mahogany on Wednesday. I make them really far in advance because I'm always like needing a haircut more than I realize. So I checked my schedule for this week and I text Mahogany. I'm like, do I have a haircut? I just got one. I'm like, do I have a haircut Wednesday? She was like, yeah, do you want to like move it back? I'm like, honestly, yeah, I don't need it this week, but you could have taken my appointment if you just didn't move and abandon your family.
Well, no, I could just like go next week when I'm in New York. I'm excited. That's when I got my haircut. But remember, I had like such a transformative haircut in Dallas a few months ago, and like kind of all that's gone.
No, and we're
all
gonna
that
be, like,
magic
working outside this summer. I think you need to do like a significant chop because I loved your Dallas haircut. I didn't think it was choppy enough.
Well, I'm always ready to go back to short hair. Is it time?
Oh, I loved your short hair. I don't remember it, but no, I think no.
Well, no, I don't think it's time. I think like I used to have a bob and I would style it like very bob-like, like very sleek and bouncy. I did that for a few years and I loved it. And I always just thought like deeper into motherhood, I would bring it back. But I feel like right now I still need my hair.
I also think when you were kind of in your bob era, your style was very reflective of that bob, And I feel like you're sort of branching out, being a little bit more, like less Brie Vandekamp in your wears, that maybe the bob doesn't go with your style anymore.
You think I'm being less?
Yeah, you used to wear like a lot of like collared shirts, dresses. Like, I guess you still do.
Like what? Yeah. I feel like it's only been more going towards like, I don't know.
You're a little bit more relaxed now in your motherhood style.
In what sense?
Like I feel like your bob style was way more buttoned up. Now you're just like a little bit more relaxed. Like you wear a lot of like sets.
What kind of sets?
Like matching tops and bottoms. You wear a lot of sweat sets. You wear a lot of like collared shirt and those linen short sets. Like whereas before I feel like you were just like a little bit more like culotte trouser energy.
Okay.
I just feel like it would limit you.
Think it would limit me. Okay, well, I wasn't planning on doing it. But you just said like summer I have to cut my hair off.
No, I just meant like more than a trim. You need to cut like 4 or 5 inches, I think.
I don't know. I don't love a mid cut.
I know you don't.
Make a choice.
I cut my hair a couple of weeks ago, and I feel like today it's at the length I want it to be at. I went like a little short so I could reach this sort of mid length, and this is what I love. You
and Margot like love to do a mid cut and like act like you're changed.
We are.
And I just think keep it long or go short.
We are.
Those are my words of wisdom.
Yeah, it's kind of like decision paralysis. It's like this half up, half down, half short, half long. Yeah, I like that.
Decision paralysis. That's a nice term.
Okay.
I'll accept
saying
that.
It
I'll add
so much about like literally the dumbest decisions. Like, should I make the tuna with light mayo or regular mayo? Like, he's like, I'm having decision paralysis. Please just like make the choice for me because it doesn't matter.
That's how you know he's been podcasting too much when he starts talking like that.
Like an internet user.
Yeah, decision paralysis. Where did he get it from?
I'll have to ask him where he learned this new phrase. It's always interesting when your husband learns a new word or a phrase. It's like, where'd you learn that? Your girlfriend?
But I think in his case, it's like, where'd you learn that? Your podcast?
No, also
because he has to talk to a lot of new people. He probably starts to talk like Josh. I could see Josh knowing that phrase. Yeah, and then he probably got it from Josh, and then we have to find out where Josh got it from.
You've been using the phrase decision paralysis a lot, period. Where did you pick that up, ?
Is it paining you not to add your girlfriend?
Yeah, of course, but I want him to answer me seriously. I love just saying your girlfriend.
But anyways, that's a good phrase. And And I feel like actually you do suffer from decision paralysis sometimes.
That's sometimes daily. That's why I need you, like in a biblical sense, like you can never leave me. Like I cannot like seriously wipe my ass without being like, Jackie, quilted or regular, you know?
So true. Also, is decision paralysis an ableist term?
I'm sure it is. Why? Because paralysis is what? Like when you're paralyzed?
When you're paralyzed, yeah.
But I think it's temporary paralysis. No.
Well, it could be either. You could be paralyzed temporarily or permanently.
I'm excited to dive into the stories. You said they're top tier, and honestly, nothing's coming to mind except like J-Lo and her weird Father's Day tribute.
She's not even in the stories.
Like she literally was like, "Our hero, thank you," and it's Ben Affleck, whom she shares no children with.
Right. Listen, she's got a lot going on, okay?
I know. I'm seriously sending her love and light.
She's running PR like through every pore of her body. Like just accept whatever she puts out, okay? She's dealing with some stuff.
Will do.
Now, without further ado, here are the Fast 5 stories that you need to know.
And the Fast 5 stories that you need to know are brought to you with our new favorite show on Prime Video. We may have just found our new TV obsession on Prime. Have you guys heard about My Lady Jane? It's inspired by the best-selling book. This series is a history-bending romantasy about Lady Jane Grey, known as the 9 Days Queen. Jane was the Queen of England for 9 days, and then she was beheaded, the ultimate damsel in distress. My Lady Jane tells her story the way it should have happened. You'll meet Jane, a know-it-all Tudor noblewoman with a sharp tongue and a warm heart, and then there's Guildford, an intriguing scoundrel with a dark secret. They have undeniable chemistry, so get ready to ship these star-crossed lovers in an epic tale of true love and high adventure set in an alt universe of action, comedy, romance, and lust at first sight. Oh, and it's all set to a modern soundtrack. Prepare thyself for My Lady Jane, which arrives June 27th on Prime Video. Prime Video kills it with the shows. I feel like every time they take a book and turn it into a movie or a series, it's always good when it's on Prime. And they're like kind of known for their soundtracking too. So this is the trappings of everything we're gonna love. June 27th on Prime Video. It's called My Lady Jane. Today's episode is also brought to you by Quince. Whenever we're gearing up for our next trip, deciding what to pack is always so stressful. The clothes we have either don't fit, are worn out, or they just don't match. But then we discovered Quince. It's our go-to for high-quality vacation essentials that we'll be packing for trips to come. They've got premium silk linen dresses, blouses, and shorts from $30, washable silk tops, premium luggage options, and so much more. The best part is that all of Quince's items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. With summer upon us, we've got a big trip coming up. I'm sure you guys have weddings, trips to the Cape, things of that nature.
Clam bakes.
You need cute outfits like linen dresses, and you want well-made stuff that will last you till next summer, but you don't want to spend a crazy amount on, a bunch of new things for your wardrobe, and that's why Quince is so fabulous. They're also fabulous because they only work with factories that use safe, ethical practices and responsible manufacturing. So they've got premium fabrics and finishes, which we love, and as Jackie Goldschneider would say, it's top quality fabric. Everything I have from Quince, I love, and I've worn, but it doesn't look worn. I've got cashmere sweaters, great trousers, great linen shorts. It's stuff that I can wear year after year that wears really well. It's made really well, but it didn't break the bank when I was purchasing. So pack your bags with the high quality essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/toast for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/toast to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/toast. Today's episode is also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time makes getting tickets for concerts and events faster and easier, even if you don't buy tickets right away. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to showtime. With killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing, views from your seats, and their lowest price guaranteed, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Because we live in a country where buying tickets has become a sport. It's become such a challenge for everyone's physical and mental health, and it's just like shouldn't have gotten to this place. And Game Time is taking a lot of the guesswork, a lot of the stress out of buying tickets, especially if you like to buy tickets like the day of, which I do too. Like I just can't plan things more than like a couple of days in advance. So why is Game Time so fabulous? They've got last minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals, all in pricing, so you can toggle this feature to show you the total up front. So it's not like other places where you select a ticket, by the time you get to checkout, it's 4 times the price because of all their hidden fees. They've also got the lowest price guarantee. They are guaranteeing that, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time also offers ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So just take the guesswork and the stress out of buying concert tickets with Game Time. Again, you can go to Game Time for sports, for theater, for comedy, for music, of course. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code TOAST for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code TOAST for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Thank you, La.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Our first story, Kate Middleton was seen publicly, first royal public appearance for the first time since announcing her cancer diagnosis and treatment. She returned to the Trooping of the Color 2024. She wore a white dress. Her children were matching in navy. And it was really, really jolly good to see her.
She looked gorgeous. I loved the outfit. She looked strong and healthy, and she had color in her face. I'm sure going to these events, like, you know, as a person without cancer is a lot of work. As someone who's like actively recovering from something like cancer, I imagine it just like took her out, you know?
Yeah.
And I hope she's recovering. But she brings so much joy to the people globally. And I love to see her out and about. You know, I'd rather see her up there shaking that thing.
And we did get to, and that was great. And we got some really sweet family moments from her and the family. And
yeah,
I'm just wishing them all the best. I think people will still find, like, you know, crazy things to say about the display from this weekend. But to me, this just looks like a woman who's doing her best and going through a lot, and she's still a queen.
Yeah, and the fact that, you know, the event that we got is one of the royal events where they all stand on the balcony. So we get like it's not just like a photo and then she walks into a church or something. We get like minutes of footage. And of course, so many viral moments. The kids are so cute. They're really well behaved. But this photo is going viral of, what was the actual event called?
The Trooping the Color.
So it was a photo, just like, you know, a collage of the last Trooping of the Color and this Trooping of the Color. Charles has really pared down like the royal family's active working members. And when you look at the Queen Elizabeth one, it might be 20 people, maybe more, 15. No, it's probably 30. I don't know. I can't like count crowds. Can anyone? Like, can you look at a group of people and be like, this is 100 people? I'm
literally,
like,
I can't. We were somewhere recently and Zach and I were trying to figure out how many people were there. Could have been 30, could have been 100. I couldn't tell you. I would have to go around. I would have to like count on my fingers. I'm trying to see. Well, that could be two things. I want to see the picture that you're talking about. But like,
I'll show
when
you.
Queen Elizabeth was the monarch, and it's her immediate family, so it's her children, grandchildren, her line.
But aren't they the same line? Like, wouldn't it be?
No,
the same?
because
I feel like isn't Charles's thing?
sisters and brothers wouldn't be next to him. You know, it's just his direct line, but he had 2 kids. Now there's just William working.
Oh, it was 2022, the photo that's going viral. Where like all the people can't even fit in the balcony, you know?
Yeah, I have to see who was on the balcony last year and this year. And then
isn't that also Charles's thing? He like is decreasing the size of like the core working members of the royal family to like decrease, you know, spending or whatever.
Yeah, that was his thing even when Elizabeth was alive, to like keep it focused on the nuclear family. But also, given Charles's age compared to Elizabeth's, like Prince George doesn't have children yet. He's a child himself. So
yeah.
And Elizabeth had 4 children, Charles has 2 and now just 1 working. So
that's true.
It's not like something has happened. It's both like logistics, age, etc.
Yeah. Okay, that's true.
I don't think it speaks to anything. And I think if he wanted to have randos on there, you know, that rugby player who podcasts is always down for a good time.
100%.
And
always
he's supportive. He's supportive.
Yeah, he's loyal.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that like this whole Kate saga like has come to an end. Like she said she would do an appearance after Easter. It is after Easter. And she looked gorgeous.
No, but she had to announce her cancer. She announced it before Easter. They couldn't even give her till Easter.
Yeah, right.
So then it was like the Easter marker was off.
Oh.
Now so it's like, go fuck yourselves. You'll see me when you see me.
I'll get there when I get there.
Yeah, but we couldn't even, not me, you guys, couldn't even give her till Easter.
Yeah. Well, she looked great.
She did.
Her. Sending her well wishes.
Me as well. Are you ready for our next story?
Mm-hmm.
Armie Hammer is breaking his silence on his cancellation and cannibalism accusations. Just like,
you know how you always say like Amanda Knox is a blind spot for me in the culture, like a story I didn't like keep up with. I feel that way about Armie Hammer too. Like that was just a cancellation that kind of like went just right by me.
Yeah, I wonder what we were doing. Must have been a busy time for us. But yeah, we didn't dig into this. It was just like, oh wow, all these people said this, bye-bye.
And I don't even know fully like the extent of his allegations besides like the cannibalism.
So
that one was, you don't forget that.
The accusations were from a series of girlfriends, but it started with Effie, and I think she was like an influencer at the time, saying that he violently raped her and abused her mentally, emotionally, and physically in 2017 when she was just 20 years old. Then another one of his exes, Courtney, came forward and said that he wanted to break my rib and barbecue and eat it. So that became like Armie Hammer eats people. He's a cannibal.
Right.
Though I don't know if anyone actually ever thought like he ate people, like he successfully ate someone, but he definitely like had a thirst.
Yeah, and like people are already so suspicious of like what goes on in Hollywood, you know?
You can't say stuff like this.
You can't, because it just gives credence to like a lot of crazy theories that people think already, because Hollywood is like so fucking weird.
Yeah. So he's broken his silence over the shock cannibalism allegations that had imploded his career. Despite claims that he had cannibalism fantasies, Hammer denied the claim, saying there was no criminal wrongdoing in his 4-year relationship with Effie and then also with his other exes. He appeared on the Painful Lessons podcast on Sunday, and he addressed the shocking cannibalism allegations that have plagued his reputation. Quote, people called me a cannibal and everyone believed them. They're like, yep, that guy ate people. Like, what? What are you talking about? Do you know what you have to do to be a cannibal? You have to eat people. How am I going to be a cannibal? It was bizarre. He said that I
like how he's just sort of like skirting around the big rape, you know?
Yeah. Like I don't, even though we call him a cannibal, like colloquially, like I don't think he ever like successfully ate a person.
I don't think he sat down with like a bib, fork, and a knife and a leg.
Yeah. But to want to eat a rib of a human, cannibalist fantasies.
Yeah, I can't. And the thing is, I would do anything for this podcast, you know? Like, I seriously, there's nothing I wouldn't do for, you know, views.
For the toast.
But I honestly, if somebody came to me and were like, Armie Hammer's going to break his silence on your podcast, I'd be like, no, thank you. Like, who the fuck? Like, and I guess, you know, there's always going to be someone who's going to have him on their podcast. Like, if Armie Hammer wants to speak, he's going to speak. But, like, I feel like it just should have been harder for him to break his silence, you know?
Yeah. Well, he also said he's now in a place in his life where he's grateful for every single bit of it, meaning the cancellation. Quote, I'm actually now at a place where I'm really grateful for it, because where I was in my life before all of that stuff happened to me, I didn't feel good. I never felt satisfied. I never had enough. I never was in a place where I was happy with myself, where I had self-esteem. I never knew how to give myself love. I never knew how to give myself self-validation, but I had this job where I was able to get it from so many people that I never had to learn how to give it to myself. I just want to say, like, a lot of times people go through hard stuff, cancellations, etc., and they're like, you know what, like, I'm better off for it.
They learn a lot.
Like, and I believe them, because I think a lot of the times it's true. Like, I don't believe him here.
No, me neither. And also, I don't care, like, about how he feels.
No, and to go with like, I was a bad person because I was in a bad place because I didn't know how to give myself love. Like, I feel like you gave yourself too much love to think that you can like treat people like that.
No, and he's like, I was in a bad place and I did bad things because I was just like so famous and successful and everybody was giving me so much love. Like, is that supposed to make me feel bad for you?
Yeah.
No, like, I have a deep hatred. And like a genuine, like, I seriously don't fucking care what happens to Armie Hammer, like, in this life. Like, if I never heard from him again, like, my life would be amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not even a hate, actually. It's such an indifference. Like, literally,
well, that's because we weren't, like, you have to be a fan to, like, then care about the demise. But, like, I guess he was in the Social Network. But really, people love him from Call Me By Your Name. And the people who love that movie, like Dana, like, I think this was really hard for them.
I understand. Yeah, I never saw that movie. And it's always like on my list of movies to see. Except for that, like, what do I need to be putting money in Armie Hammer's pocket
Well, now, probably not. And also, why fall in love with him now? Just to know, when you already know.
But I feel I would have like a similar experience if I take Armie Hammer out of it that I had with like Brokeback Mountain. It was like this kind of cultural moment, and I never saw it, and then I saw it, and I was like, oh, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Then I think, but I'm not interested in having any sort of moment with Armie Hammer, and I don't even really like Timothy Chalamet.
Like, think about someone who you have moments with, like who you love, like a random person from a piece of content that you love. I'm going to give you an example. Peter Facinelli. Like, for some people
Who's
that? For us, he's everything.
And I guess like if there ever was an expose on Peter Facinelli, which we all know there never would be. Not me jinxing. Next thing you know, like Rolling Stone into the dark, twisted world of Peter Fach. I would be devastated. Oh my God.
So that's how this was for some people.
Okay.
You need to hold space.
Thank you. Thank you for putting me, in their shoes.
And Peter Fach is also a little niche. So imagine someone like...
Okay, Peter Fach is not niche. He was
Joe Manganiello.
Honestly, I think I would take Peter Fach harder. Like, for real. You chose a really good one.
Okay, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's leave it at that.
So now you know how it feels.
But you don't.
Are you ready for our next story?
Mm-hmm.
Sabrina Carpenter. I mean, if this ain't the summer of Sabrina.
And I say this every time. I'm so happy for her.
So happy for her. She is giving an interview to Rolling Stone, talking about a lot of things. She was talking about her love for Tailored. She was talking about doing her Skims campaign, even though the beef with the Tailored. And she's,
oh my God, I didn't even see this.
Oh, yeah. She mentioned it. And she said, like, she spoke to Tailored. We're all good. I know people want to make it about that, but like everything is good.
Okay, and so I so appreciate her like talking about this because now I think I can apply that to like everyone else whom we've had question marks over. Sabrina was definitely the biggest question mark, but Lana Del Rey, Brittany Mahomes, like, good to know.
Yeah, good to know. And then also she's talking about working with Jack Antonoff, who I guess is like, people are hating him recently, saying like all the artists that he works with, like their music sounds the same when he works with them.
I think that's a valid criticism because I remember my first thought off of TTPD was that some of the songs sounded a lot like Lana Del Rey, who's like a classic Jack Antonoff girly.
But I also think, the way I read it, which maybe you're right though, but the way I read it is like if one artist works with Jack for too long, all of that one artist's songs sound the same.
Well, I think it's that too. And I also feel like it's super healthy to bop around producer-wise because every album has its own sound. Now, of course, there's like iconic collaborators that work together forever, Sonny and Cher vibes. But I would say one of my criticisms of TTPD was like, I personally am over the Jack Antonoff like pop synth energy. And I would love for Taylor to work with like a Chris Martin, Ryan Tedder again. Like,
Ryan Tedder.
But I think the current state of music is very influenced by Jack Antonoff, and that's why everybody works with him. And I just like I'm not into that sound per se.
Yeah, well, she has something to say to the haters.
Who, Jack?
Sabrina. To Jack's haters. She says, fuck them all. I think he's one of the most talented people I've ever met. When he's in a room, he's able to literally touch every instrument in the room and make it sound magical. Maybe that's AI. He also works very fast, which I appreciate because I work very fast.
By the way, I just want to say, I don't disagree with her. Like, he's probably one of the most talented producers of our time. I just think, like, too much of a good thing. Mm-hmm. It just feels oversaturated. And I'm not saying any of the music's bad. It's just a lot. Like, all music kind of sounds the same these days.
Yeah.
And Taylor definitely, like, sets herself apart with her songwriting, like, everything, the whole universe she's created. But I think that a lot of the criticism just about, like, him is valid in the sense that it's a lot.
Yeah.
But whenever I talk about Jack Antonoff, people actually really always disagree with me. So I didn't know that like the hate had become mainstream enough to be asked in an interview with Sabrina.
Yeah, but people disagree with you in the sense like they love him.
Yeah, and they think like him and Taylor's working relationship is perfect and she should never work with anyone ever again.
Got it. No, I think it's really split. But I think people would never question a Taylor decision, period. The Swifties.
But see, for me, I think her collaboration with Jack Antonoff was perfection in Folklore and Evermore because that was the vibes of those albums. But I really feel like for Midnights and actually TTPD is still very like Evermore coded, honestly. But like Midnights was a real pop album, and I do wish she had done it with like Ryan Tedder.
Yeah,
just to change. Like I don't need synth everywhere.
And where does Aaron Dessner fit into this?
He fits in the same way. Like he collaborates with her on a lot of her sort of slower.
And is it like she'll do one song with Aaron, one song with Jack, or it's like the three of them do everything together?
So the three of them did everything together on Folklore and Evermore. With Midnights and TTPD, there are certain songs that Jack is on, I think Jack is on pretty much every single one of them. Aaron's on some of them. He's just like a collaborator who shows up, when he feels like it.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Yeah, but Aaron Dessner is like probably some of my favorites. Would've, could've, should've. Peace. Those are like Aaron Dessner works of art.
Got it. So I guess Jack Antonoff worked on Espresso and Please, Please, Please.
Did he work on Espresso?
I feel like if he's working with Sabrina.
Let me just double check. I didn't know that. I knew he worked on Please, Please, Please. Producer of Espresso. No, produced by Julian Bonetta.
And that's the song of the summer. So wouldn't Julian Bonetta be the producer du jour?
Right. And then Please, Please, Please was, I guess, yes, produced by Jack Antonoff. Or maybe it's the album that's coming out soon, Short and Sweet.
Yeah. Well, Summer of Sabrina 2024 continues. I hope everyone's having fun. That's a mi espresso.
I'm having fun.
It's crazy how that song is just the song now.
Yeah, Please, Please, Please was produced by Jack Antonoff. And then the album Short and Sweet
shall be
Julian and Jack. That's who's on the Wikipedia so far.
Julian. Okay. It's Julian's
that
time.
Sorted that out. Me. That's what Julian said today.
Are you ready for our fourth story? A little more music news.
Yeah.
Scooter Braun officially retires from management.
I feel like he already did.
I feel like he had stepped back in some of the bigger art. He's always shuffling around artists, but now he's stepping back from management completely. He made it official on Monday. He is stepping back from being a manager to focus on being CEO of High B America, the company to which he sold his own Ithaca Holdings company in 2021, and to focus on his family. He made the announcement in nearly a 1,400-word statement on his Instagram, and he posted a carousel of photos from the good times. Ari, Justin, Miley, Demi.
Yeah, there's been an interesting sort of arc here. He sold his company, and I think it was really huge news because he sold it for $1 billion. And to an even bigger, more influential company. So he really sort of killed it. And then there was that time where all the artists that had made his company, Justin Bieber, notably Ariana Grande, left. And sought new management. Now, Demi had left and started it, but she wasn't an OG there. So at first that didn't raise any flags.
Yeah.
But then Justin and Ari, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I think he was just always shifting away from management. And now he's the CEO of the big company that bought his big company. So how do you have time to manage people? And these are big artists. They can't just be some side project.
Right. And so I think at the time it felt nefarious when everyone was leaving. Now
I feel like they were saying it's not nefarious, but you just assume that it is because it looks that way. But they were no, this is just a natural progression of the business.
And now knowing what we know, I can see him sitting down and being listen, I'm going to be leaving this company in this capacity and working at a more at a glance. And so let's work now on finding you the best management.
Yeah.
I could see that because those were his OGs.
Yeah.
So I want to assume that there was no bad blood. Now, as a Swiftie, of course, I find myself in such a unique position. But let me just say this because I don't think I've stated it recently. You will not catch me saying any ill things about Scooter Braun anymore. What an ally for the Jewish people. Pro-Israel king. Called out Mark Ruffalo. Seriously.
That's all it takes for eternity.
When it comes to Taylor Swift, you will not sorry, that's my queen, but you know what?
That's my king.
That is my king. Calling out Mark Ruffalo. I don't want to hear it. I'm blind. Suddenly, I can't say.
Yeah, no, he's one of the few celebrities, Jewish celebrities, who puts their money where their mouth is, who says the truth, who's not afraid. Everyone feels this way, but doesn't say anything because they're afraid of backlash and this and that. But he is unabashed in his support,
and now I am too.
He's actually making things happen. Was a key player in bringing the Nova exhibit here, which I think has been really important for people to see. So yeah, King doing king shit. I support.
You're not going to hear me. Yeah, you're not going to hear me.
Great.
Yeah.
And now that he sold Ithaca, which owned Old Tailored.
Oh.
Well, he's still the CEO of the company that owns Ithaca now, but that's just a job for him now.
I wonder if Taylor at all has made peace with that time, because I know she's our queen who loves to remember things, but this sort of historic level of success, there's a couple of things that happened in the last couple of years to Taylor Swift that made this moment possible. And one of them is the re-recordings, because how rare is it that an artist has an album like Folklore where they're introduced to like the world. Like, of course she was popular, but now she's sort of universal. And then she gets the opportunity to release her biggest hits all over again. Usually if that happened, it's on the, consumer to go back and do the work. She did the work for us. Like, you get to reintroduce your life's work to the biggest audience ever. Like, it's almost like 4 dominoes that fell. And I think the re-recording was probably one of the biggest ones that made and the Eras Tour is obviously the final and also one of the biggest, but it made this moment she's having possible. So I wonder if, kind of how we were saying with Armie Hammer, everything happens for a reason. Like, I wonder if she looks back on it at all. I think she definitely harbors a lot of hate still for Scott Borchetta.
I think she harbors hate for Scooter. And I think she looks back on it and is like, all of this happened and it brought me to where I am, but I'm where I am because of me, not because those things happened, because of what I did with it. And it's still like, and she's right for that. Like, if it hadn't happened that way and she still in some way owned her music, like that would have been good for her too. And she would still be tailored. So she'd still make big things happen. Yeah. No, I think there are like 1, 2, 3 things in people that she will never just squash. Like it's not like Katy Perry and the backup dancers.
Yeah, that was like
it's
so
like her life's
stupid.
work, her name, her reputation. It's Kim, Scooter, and Scott, and Kanye.
Well,
Goodbye.
Kim / Kanye, yeah.
Scooter Scott is Scooter Scott.
Yeah.
Even
Scooter
though,
Scott.
To me, I don't see it the same. Like Scott was her mentor, and
I see Scott as like the true villain in that scenario.
Yeah. Scooter's just like a businessman.
To betray the woman who like literally gave you a career. Like, yes, you took a chance on her, but then she repaid you 10x.
Yeah. So I think those are like
her family,
her top tier feuds. And then she's got like, oh, Billie Eilish said this. She's got her ear to the ground. Like, what do people say about me? I'll make them pay one day, but it's not going to be like a forever sort of thing.
No, it's true.
And I don't think Olivia Rodrigo's on level 1.
Me neither.
I think she's lower level feud.
Yeah, but like, how, like if I could know the answer to anything in this world, like seriously, that would be it. Like, what's really going on?
Taylor and Olivia?
Yeah.
And what's also weird is that song, Get You Back. I'm Gonna Get You Back.
I completely agree.
Because I haven't listened to it that much, but it came up while I was cooking, so I'm listening to it. And I didn't know the Olivia Rodrigo song, but you're saying that it sounds like her song, and the message is the same of like, I'm gonna get you.
It doesn't sound.
It doesn't sound.
There are just 2 songs with like literally the exact same chorus lyrically. It's like, I want to get him back, and it has dual meaning. Like, I want to get him back revenge-wise, or I want to get him back into my bed.
Yeah.
And apparently it's neither one of their original concepts. They're both sort of paying homage to, I forget who did it first, like a Regina Spektor, Fiona Apple, someone like that. So it's like it's a trope that's already been done, but it is strange that,
especially because the original fight was about songs being similar.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's giving Sparky Polastri, like we all learn the same routine.
It's giving Sparky Polastri. It's giving, these aren't spirit fingers, these are spirit fingers, and these are golden.
Yeah.
What a nut. That's like seriously one of like a not spoken about enough character like in cinematic history. Sparky Polastri. He was in the movie for all of 10 seconds, but he's the star.
That's become one of my favorite things to reference when like 2 people are doing the same thing just because they learned it from the same person who didn't tell them that they taught it to another person. Like, it's Sparky Polastri.
Prepare for world domination.
We were FaceTiming the other day and I said like something was a Sparky Polastri. I don't remember what it was, and if it was on FaceTime, it was for the private. Yeah. But it sums up that concept.
Yeah.
Of we're not copying each other. Like, someone from Up High gave us the same thing.
It's seriously the perfect analogy. We need to start using it more often. Especially here with Get Him Back.
Right, so Fiona Apple is the Sparky Polastri of the Get Him Back concept.
Don't quote me on Fiona Apple. It's like somebody in that genre. Like maybe it's
like Ingrid Michaelson.
Nora Jones. I don't know.
Ingrid Michaelson?
Yeah. So yeah, they're all on like the same Spotify playlist.
For sure.
Oh my God.
My butt is killing me. What is going on?
Okay.
Claudia.
I have this...
Our butts have been hurting so much.
Yeah.
Like when
Jackie, somebody told me it's like when you're skinny, it happens. I've never had this problem in my life. And post Ozempic, it happens to me on a daily basis. And I know you've recently like reached a fitness goal of a health goal of yours. Seriously, I can't sit on my tailbone without actually needing to readjust every 10 minutes. And if I don't, I'm blinded. You guys probably watch a show and see me doing this. My arm is on the armchair.
I did it 3 minutes ago. And I also want to say, like, thank you for calling me skinny. It means the world to me that you would think that this is because I was skinny. But the last time I suffered from this was at the tail end of my pregnancy and the beginning of postpartum. And I was not, like, super small. So it's not that. And I feel like it might be, like, seasonally, like something in the wind, because that was last summer. And now it's summer again, and my butt hurts.
Explain how it's been happening to me now. Like, I've been living with this problem for a full year.
Claudia, I couldn't even sit in the car yesterday.
So it's like, the car is huge. So your pain is like right above your butt crack, right? Tailbone, I think that's what it's called.
It's not my tailbone. It's more on the cheeks, but high cheeks.
Oh no, mine's like right above my crack.
No, mine is high cheeks.
I don't know what your problem sounds fucking weird. Like,
it's like. Yeah, I don't know. I think it has to do with the seasons. That's the common denominator.
No, I think the common denominator is like we have like very Jewish flat asses. Like I think if we have big
now?
juicy,
we sit in this chair every day for years.
But by the way, it's also not the chair because I get it everywhere.
I'm now getting it in the car too.
The car, it's really bad. I have to sit on my side.
Yeah, no, I like go.
Yep.
Oh,
I sit like this.
That feels good.
It's like all the pressure. It's like all my body weight is sort of resting on my tailbone.
I feel like it has to do with the bones. When the bones are good, the chair don't matter.
It's bony. Should we start taking calcium?
Maybe. Sound off in the
both. By the way, and the way that our episodes on YouTube are stitched together, we're gonna be like bumping asses the way we're sitting right now.
Hey, Turdy. Tushy bumpers.
Tushy bumpers. Tushy Bumpers is a game Jackie and our sisters invented when we were kids to play in the pool. It's honestly an amazing game, and we still play it. It's not even a game. It's just like a little trick we can do.
It is a little trick. Speaking of the pool, are you ready for our fifth and final story?
What does it have to do with the pool?
It does have to do with the pool, and I don't want a great segue to get in the way of the show and our business, but I do not need to let you know that the rest of the show is brought to you by ByHeart. Couldn't not do that. Today's episode of The Toast is brought to you by ByHeart. ByHeart is an infant nutrition company built from the ground up to deliver real innovation on behalf of babies and parents. Their mission is simple: make the best formula in the world. This year, our friends at ByHeart, the only American-made formula with globally sourced ingredients to use organic, grass-fed whole milk, never skim, are celebrating all the ways in which they never skim on anything, especially for your bebes. ByHeart never skims on healthy fats using only organic, grass-fed whole milk. Whole milk is full of healthy fats like naturally occurring MFGM, which play an important role in brain development and growth. And ByHeart never skims on their standards. Their formula is made with certified clean ingredients, plus it has no soy, yuck, corn syrup, GMOs, yucky, or palm oil, bleh. So try ByHeart today and celebrate their commitment to never skim on all the important benefits when it comes to infant formula. Curious about ByHeart? Redeem your welcome offer at byheart.com/podcast with code TOAST20 for a limited time. Additional terms and conditions apply. Thank you, ByHeart, and thank you for never skimming.
Wait, Jackie, I'm just feeling a little curious about ByHeart.
So then you would redeem your welcome offer at byheart.com/podcast with code TOAST20 for a limited time.
Thank you. Today's episode is also brought to you by Cozy Earth. Are you tired of tossing and turning on these hot summer nights?
Are you tired of tossing and turning on your chair?
Literally. Are you searching for relief from the relentless heat? Well, Cozy Earth has the solution that you've been dreaming of. Introducing Cozy Earth's revolutionary bedding products, designed to keep you cool and comfortable no matter how high the temperatures soar. Crafted with viscose from bamboo, Cozy Earth bedding regulates your body temperature, ensuring uninterrupted and refreshing sleep throughout the summer seasons. You'll notice a huge difference in your sleep once you start using these sheets. And the good news is that Cozy Earth has offered our listeners an exclusive offer. You simply have to visit cozyearth.com/toast and use our code TOAST to enjoy a 30% discount. Cozy Earth's bedding isn't just about staying cool. It's about indulging in unmatched comfort. Their products have superior softness achieved through meticulous selection of fabrics, materials, and weaving techniques. And here's the best part. They have an 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty, so you can invest in quality and durability comfortably with complete peace of mind. So let's prioritize our well-being and elevate our sleep experience today. Incorporate Cozy Earth into your self-care routine and discover the pinnacle of comfort and luxury. Remember to visit cozyearth.com/toast and enjoy 30% off by using our code TOAST at checkout. Transform your sleep and stay cool with Cozy Earth. Reminder, that link is Cozy Earth, COZY, Earth, EARTH.com/toast, code TOAST, TOAST. Thank you, Cozy Earth.
Thank you, Turdy Earth.
Agreed.
Our fifth and final story has kind of been one of my favorite stories to follow every 4 years, and I really wish it had a different outcome.
The Olympics.
The Olympics and Cody Simpson's attempt to become an Olympian. Pop star and swimmer Cody Simpson has his Olympic dream dashed after...
Pop star, swimmer, and country music artist, according to Jackie O.
According to the Toast. His Olympic dreams are dashed after missing out on the Paris 2024 swimming spot. So Cody Simpson has put his singing career on hold to try and make it to the Olympics, but has had his dreams squashed by less than half of a second. The former pop star will not make it to Paris 2024 after failing to secure his spot in the Australian team's qualifying rounds in Brisbane on Saturday. He came fifth in the men's 100-meter butterfly final behind Matt Temple, who won in 51.15 seconds, Ben Armbruster's 51.23 seconds, Sean Champion's 51.40 seconds, and Jesse Coleman, who finished in 51.51 seconds. Despite his agonizing loss falling short of Mr. Coleman by just 0.28 seconds, Simpson said the experience was absolutely unbelievable.
28 seconds is a lot.
0.28.
I'm sorry.
Rude. He said, "I'm proud of myself, and I knew it was going to be a tight one tonight." He added that he would not dwell on the loss since he gave it his all. He said, "I knew I was going to have to pull something out of myself, but I was very close to my best swim. All you can do is all you can do," which is a saying I quite like, because what else can you do?
So he was 0.28 off from the fourth place person or the first?
From the fourth place person, and then but maybe fourth place goes as an alternate.
Right. Let me say, the Australians are amazing swimmers. Like, stereotypically, like, they're a big competitor for America. So, like, he wasn't in this, like, for lack of a better word, like, loser pool. He was with, like, real, like, he probably would have qualified in most other countries. It's just a shame. Like, Australia is known for their swimmers.
Yeah. He was 0.40 off of being number 3.
So less than a half a second.
And he also attempted to go to the Olympics in 2020 as a swimmer and didn't make it. And I just really wish he had made it.
I know, in 2020, he wasn't even close. So this is particularly devastating to have spent the last 4 years, like, clearly wanting this so badly, and to have gotten so close. Like, I almost wish he lost by 5 seconds, because then it was like, you were never going to make it.
Right. No, this is a really hard loss. And to make matters worse, he later swam a personal best that would have placed him among the qualifying 6. So, like, It was just, like, not even a hair's breadth.
So if somebody gets sick or whatever, or, Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya, somebody came, he's not an alternate, but does he become the alternate for the alternate?
I don't know if they fly you out. Like, I think you only get a certain number of alternates, and say you really go through all your alternates, well, then that's that.
I do love that the Olympic trials are making news. There was some swimming news here in America. Somebody set a world record, one of the girlies. So I got to get into that. Like, I need to start putting on the chat. Like, I need to start having it play in my house.
And we're already excited about the Olympics, but, like, had Cody Simpson been going to the Olympics, and I think we care about Cody Simpson more than most here at the Toast.
Don't say that.
More than most. Not more than anyone, but more than most.
Yeah.
And I think
remember when his mom was almost on The Real Housewife of Beverly Hills?
No.
She was friends with Yolanda. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I think
it
just would have added, like, a layer of intrigue to the events this summer that I would really appreciate it. And also, like, then he'd be in Olympic Village. Like, who's gonna woo Cody Simpson?
Yeah, it would have been a nice narrative for sure. And I think
for us,
maybe Australia as a government, like, should have done more to
rig it
for him. But that's why you have to love the Olympics. Like, it is a true meritocracy. Like, the cream rises.
Yeah.
It's about being the best.
Also, both his mother and father both swam for Australia.
Oh, so it, like, really meant a lot to him, probably.
Sorry, not at the Olympics, but at the Pan-Pacific Games and Commonwealth Games. So
that's legit. Like,
that's probably the level that he's at too. He's been, like, swimming all year in races and stuff.
Yeah. I'm devastated for him. I'm sending him love. As an athlete myself, I obviously know how hard it can be to commit your life and your body to the sport. And I just want to let you know I see you from one athlete to another.
Yeah. Could he like move to another country and swim for them? How does that work?
I don't know what the rules are for like Olympics. Is it like the president? You have to be like a natural born citizen or your parents or some shit? Like,
it's something to do with like, because all the hockey players who play here like go back to Canada and play for Canada. So I don't know. I guess it's like wherever you identify as where you live.
Do you have to be a citizen to be an Olympian? I love talk to text.
Not like a great way to phrase the question.
I know. And I wonder if it's the rule of the Olympics or of each country. Do you have to be born in the U.S. to be in the Olympics? Athletes must be nationals or citizens of the country they represent. So either born here or like you have a passport.
No.
Does that make you a citizen? Yeah.
A passport doesn't make you a citizen.
Yeah, it does. Like you get your citizenship.
Oh, your U.S. pass. I'm sorry. I thought you just meant a passport, like ready to travel.
No. Because I'm saying, I know Brian has like Portuguese citizenship. Like, could he be an athlete for Portugal?
Apparently. Maybe Cody could swim for Portugal.
It's the Olympic charter. So it's a global rule. It's not, country by country.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the Olympics they're not really willy-nilly in their rules.
Okay, I'm on the International Olympic Committee frequently asked questions page.
Okay.
Can I compete for another team than my nationality? According to Olympic Charter Rule 4041, any competitor in the Olympic Games must be a national of the country of the NOC, which is entering as a competitor. A competitor who is a national of two or more countries at the same time may represent either one of them as he may elect. However, after having represented one country in the Olympic Games, in continental or regional games, or in the World or Regional Championships recognized by the relevant IF, he may not represent another country under certain circumstances. So you have to commit.
He can't go to...
Oh, right. Well,
country.
No, he's never. By the way, no,
but
he's never
represented in regional. They said regional.
Oh, you're right. They did say that.
And like, not to be dumb, but like, what's a national compared to a citizen?
I think it's like born here or like transferred from another high school. Your school has
you transferred from Los Angeles. Okay.
This is a last resort. I
transferred from Los Angeles. Your country has no gymnastics team. This is a last resort.
Wait. If you're not watching on YouTube, you're so missing out on my hilarious gesture.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sad. Like, I have to move on because that makes me sad for him.
If we don't, we'll just cry.
No, seriously.
Okay, let's move on to our TV recap, which is going to be a new installment here for the next 10 weeks. Every Monday, Jax and I watching House of the Dragon. Now, you look like you're itching to share whatever take you have, so let's hear it.
Yeah, I don't want to watch the show anymore. That's my take. So here's what, let me just say. I'm watching the episode last night, and the first episode is really, really slow. And like, we're just kind of like catching up with everyone, where they are, what they're up to. And I expect that the first episode, and this Game of Thrones has always been a very slow show, and that's something that you have to accept. But the slowness of this episode was really more boring. And I'm thinking to myself, like, the only reason why I'm watching this show is because of Game of Thrones and how amazing that is. And otherwise, this is just like a random medieval show that I would never watch in my life, like just like random medieval shit. But it's a slow episode, and usually something at the end happens that's gonna like change the board, and here we go, let's go, as Turdy would say. So I'm holding space, and I'm grateful again that we have this cultural moment, and this is one of the shows that my husband and I watch together. We typically don't watch a lot of the same stuff, and he's watching Chernobyl like now. Thanks, where were you 4 years ago? But okay. So like, I'm just, grateful to be a part of something, and I'm waiting for the end to sort of get me rolling into the season. And what they did at the end, I thought was so terrible and so unnecessary and just like grotesque for grotesque's sake. And I don't want to watch it anymore. I don't want to watch TV that makes me feel that way. At first bored, and then upset.
So it's funny that you say that, because Ben had never watched the finale from last season. So right before last night's episode, we watched the finale, which I was actually glad for, to give myself like a real refresher. And I had forgotten about the scene. And so to watch it back to back was actually really jarring, where Rhaenyra gives birth to a stillborn, and they actually have like a dead fake baby, and it's really graphic. And I remember like watching last night being like, oh. And then for the second episode of the first episode, the last thing to also have like, dead, murderous children energy. I don't disagree with you. It feels like a lot of that for what?
And the show isn't good enough at present to like be like, oh, well, this is just like a necessary evil for like the greatness of the show, because last night's episode like seriously stunk otherwise, and that's the big moment. And like it's just like so cheap to do like the most awful thing possible. And I don't want to watch content that makes me feel like a fucking pit.
No, like stabbing a sleeping child. It's horrible.
Yeah. No,
and
not
like,
stabbing.
Also,
sawing his head off because they're bringing the head back.
Oh.
They said they want his head.
And, oh, yikes. It also wasn't what Damon asked.
No.
That's what happened. Like, you hire these two morons, these village idiots, and they're just going to do...
Right. And so now you have war. I'm sure this is Aegon's evil origin story, and now he's gonna, like, in this episode he seemed to be just like kind of a bumbling idiot, but not like the most evil person ever.
No, and he kind of seemed sweet at times when, you know, people
just
from
like
the
naive
village were like,
yeah, like why not make everyone happy? Like now if Aegon, like if his name winds up being like Aegon the Evil, like now we know why. And now am I team green? I don't know.
I'm not team green,
but I'm not team...
They're not slaying in the way that I need them to.
No.
And I know Rhaenyra's like currently just dealing with a lot, and she has my utmost sympathy. And I also like can't get a read. I had also forgotten in the final episode from last season, like Daemon chokes Rhaenyra. They're like kind of like not doing well. And I do feel like Daemon could end up like, I don't know if he's her OTP. Like I think he could turn on her.
And I also forgot, what was the relationship between Rhaenyra and Kristoff?
Who's Kristoff?
The one that was going down on Alice.
Do they have a relationship?
I feel like they had a thing.
Yeah, no, by the way, for sure. I was also... Who was Rhaenyra's kid's dad?
Her old security
bodyguard.
guard. Yeah, and then
But who was their... fake, like who would everyone think was their dad? Who did she marry?
Valerian, you know, the sea couple.
Valerian.
The sea couple had a daughter and a son. So the son, and then obviously those weren't the real children, but the way that they made it whole was that Rhaenyra's, you know, illegitimate children would marry the actual legitimate grandchildren, and then those children would be Valerian and Targaryen, so it all evens out in the end.
Yeah, but and her ex-husband was a queer, yes, and she puts him on a boat and says, go live your best life.
Yeah.
Is that him?
Yes, but did he go live his best life? I thought he was killed.
I thought the family thought he died, but he actually ran away with his lover and was like, I'm giving all this up. I'm going to go live in some random place and just like be myself.
Oh, I don't remember.
And I feel like the only person that knows that is Rhaenyra. She's letting everyone think that he died because like it's the only way for him to live a happy life.
Got it. I don't remember that.
Maybe I actually could be making that up.
No. There's something to do with that, but maybe he was still killed.
Somebody escapes like and gives up everything to go live like a peaceful life.
Yeah, maybe it was him.
It was her ex-man. Yeah. Okay, so then back to the episode. Yes, like nothing really happened except for that last scene. And I also like wasn't understanding the rats and Aegon's wife. Are we supposed to think she's mad?
She is mad, but also a bit of a fortune teller. Like she has said stuff in the first season that came to fruition. So then when she said, I'm not scared of war, I'm scared of the rats, she was like foreseeing that something nefarious would happen due to the rats.
Then why did she give up her son? Like when they were like, which is the son? Which is the son?
I don't know. She's definitely like also mad, but I feel like when she was saying earlier in the episode, like he's not, what if he doesn't want to be king? Like I feel like maybe she thought she was sparing him. Oh. But she's also like, yeah, not
a little nutty.
Not the most sound of mind. And the fact that she would just walk into Alicent, you know.
Right.
Also, none of these rooms have guards outside of them. Like
I thought that was weird.
You're the royal family. You're at war. You just killed your enemy's child, and there's not guards outside of any room. Okay, sure.
When they went to the wall, like, ask me how long it took me to figure out, like, who was who. Because the last time we saw that son of Rhaenyra's leaving to go talk to the Stark people, he was 11, and so much time has passed because of the strike and then whatever. He's like 17 now. So handsome. I said, I'm Lily and Ben are like, who is that? And there was a narrator. Was that Jon Snow?
No, the narrator was the guy on the elevator with him.
Oh, it sounded like Jon Snow. So I'm like, is this a flashback, front forward.
I actually thought they might have changed the actor of.
No, so I watched the finale last night. I don't know if I mentioned that 10 times already, and it's totally him. He just grew up.
Cute. I think they needed
he was a very handsome boy,
and they need a more mature person anyway if he's going to be like doing big boy things.
He's a father.
No, I think that was his little brother.
Oh,
I thought that too.
But have those girls has he got married yet? No.
No, I think they're just betrothed, and I think that was the little brother because I'm pretty sure she had 3 kids.
Yeah.
But then she also has kids with Damon.
No, that's where she gave.
Oh, that was her
season.
First pregnancy with Damon.
Yeah, which is like a bad. Now we think about it, like it's a bad omen. Like her and Damon are not simpatico. You
think? I feel like they are endgame.
I mean, I dream of it, but I don't know. He gives like bad toxic energy vibes now, especially choking her like while she was pregnant last season.
I forgot about that.
No, and like being an idiot. Like she sent you to go do a task. You hire these 2 village idiots who do the wrong thing. Like, oh, and I was so ready for them to kill Aemond, but I knew that they weren't going to. He's a really instrumental character. But also, right now. They can't just keep killing everyone. You need core characters.
That character, I don't know how much more of him I can take. Like with his pursed lips, like the way he talks.
Joffrey.
No, there's something about the way he talks. It's like misophonia is how I feel, honestly. Stop it. Stop. I need to put my TV on mute and just do subtitles because
he's an incredible actor. Like really, because I fucking hate him.
Yeah, me too. But
what else happened? Like not a lot happened. I agree with you there. I'm not throwing in the towel. Neither are you, by the way.
I don't know.
No, we'll all be together this summer. Like we can watch it together. Ben and Zach watch it. We're watching it.
We would never be watching the show if it wasn't for Game of Thrones. And now they're in season 2, like stand on your own 2 feet, and I don't think that it does. And
okay, you're making a lot of like assumptions after one episode.
That's just like not how I want to feel after watching TV on a Sunday night, excited about a big show.
I don't disagree with that.
And I'm not like a sick person,
No, you're not.
So then I was like, okay, I need a palate cleanser. After this, I watched the season finale of The Valley. That's what I was up to. And that also made me so sad.
Yeah.
So Jax and Brittany are done. Michelle and Jason are done. They're actually going through with the divorce. And yeah, there's no turning back for them. And it's just like, I understand why the women are done. The men are not meeting the bar. Mm-hmm. But it just made me really sad, especially Michelle and Jason. They're having this like final conversation. And their daughter's just like in the kitchen and they're talking about like all this stuff. And it was just really, it was like upsetting. And then Jax and Brittany are kind of like a little bit behind where Michelle and Jason were. I feel like before the show, Michelle and Jason, a year before, they were like separated and she was moving out. And he like begged her, I'll change. Please come back. I'll do whatever. And so she comes back. And she's still mad at him, though. And so he's trying to change. And so what we see of him is he seems like a decent guy, but I'm sure he was like a torturer before. And she's just done with him. And she can't.
Yeah, it's like an iceberg.
And she's like, I want to feel the way about you that I used to, but I just can't. And so she she's been trying to, but she can't. So I feel like Jax and Brittany are at that place where he would have to be like, I will change. I'll do an ayahuasca trip. I'll go to therapy. I'll do this and that. Like, please don't leave. And then if Brittany went back, we would get the sort of Brittany that Michelle was this season, where it's like, I already kind of checked out from you. I don't know how to check back in.
Yeah.
But Jax isn't even doing that. Like, honestly, Brittany read him to filth in the finale. Like, he was saying, I need to go to therapy. Like, I'm going to go to therapy. Like, I really need to work on myself. Like, he's so aggressive, like, just yelling at her and so rude and, like, testy. And he's talking to someone else, Jason. Are there 2 Jasons on the show? I don't know. He's talking to Janet's husband, and he's like, I'm going to therapy. Like, I really need to change, man. And we're like, yeah, come on, Jax, change. So he's talking to Brittany, and he's like, I'm going to go to therapy, but they didn't have an appointment until next month, so I'm going next month. And she was like, when did you call to make the appointment? He's like, yesterday. And so she's like, for 6 months, I've been telling you, today's the day we start filming, just for this, like, recap, because they did, like, a 6 months later. We start filming, so you call the day before so you can go on TV and be like, I'm trying, man, I'm going to therapy.
Good for
but
her.
You're not going to do it. And then in his confessional, he goes, yeah, I didn't go. It was too far. So I just think, like, they are too far apart. And what Brittany said is, like, she's woken up. I feel like for years people would be like, how can Brittany be with Jax?
Yeah.
And I feel like we all sort of thought, maybe she sees something in him, or maybe they just, like, work and there's stuff that we don't know. But what she's saying is like, one, she's just someone who puts up with a lot, and two, like she's kind of just been asleep to it all and just accepted it, but then she like had this awakening and she can't go back, and also she just feels so much more powerful because she makes her own money. She's like, when we went off of Vanderpump Rules, like Jax sort of like fell into a hole. I stepped up. I started making more money. I was the breadwinner. Like I can do all of these things. I make a lot of money. Like I don't need him.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting because when you think about how she came onto the show and into his life, there was definitely like a huge imbalance in like power dynamics, money playing a huge part of it. So yes, I can see her just sort of ignoring everything because of that.
Yeah.
But now it's now, like unignorable.
That's not the case. He speaks so disrespectfully towards her. He's just like, he's just Jax, and he's always been that way. But like once you see it the way we all see it, it's like, how can you live like that? And there was also this common theme in the show, and so Brittany like doesn't feel well a lot of the time. Like sometimes she's hungover, she gets really bad hangovers, like she throws up a lot when she's drinking, and then sometimes like she just like she's car sick or something, and then Jax will be like, well, you were drinking, and she's like, well, I had 2 shots, like you had 2 bottles of alcohol. And like I feel like I'm a Brittany in that sense, where like I don't feel well.
It doesn't agree with you.
It doesn't agree with me, but like I literally don't drink anymore because it's like I can't have one day like that. And so even though like it was reminding me of Nashville. Remember we went out on a boat when we had our girls trip?
Yep.
And like everyone was drinking, having a great time. I literally had 1.5 White Claws. And then we went to dinner that night and I had to go home because I didn't feel well because we were on a boat and I had 1.5 drinks. And like, if that was the reality every single time we did something, and they go out, they're really social, so it's multiple times a week. And like, if I'm always going home because I don't feel well, like that's really frustrating for Jax. Like a person like me shouldn't drink if that's the case. And I don't. And I feel like she like doesn't feel well a lot of the time because even like one shot, she shouldn't have one shot then. But the way that like Jax is like so not compassionate towards her, and he's like, I drank 2 bottles of tequila, you don't see me being sick, like, but she's just like, she was car sick in Big Bear, and like that's literally me. So like and the way she's like in the room, she can't leave the room, like it's a worse feeling.
Yeah.
But then, not to sound like Jax, but then you shouldn't drink.
Right, but people need to get to that conclusion like on their own time.
Yeah, but like how can you feel like that every other day?
Horrible.
It's so horrible. So, but that was just like a microcosm. That's what they were fighting about. Like, but that's not why they're breaking up. And at this point, like now that the Band-Aid's ripped off, I guess it's all the way off. I think they'll get divorced.
Yeah.
I don't think they're coming back from this. Especially he was with that girl at Ariana's brother's party. Like it's over. And he won't change. Like the fake therapy, that was enough for me. Like,
yeah, no, and good for her for calling him out like timeline wise.
Yeah. Oh, she's like activate. Like she's a different person.
And like, this show is actually like benefiting sadly like from their divorce. And I know that that's like important to both of them.
Yeah.
More to Jax.
I also feel like, and when we first heard that they were getting divorced, I was like, this is totally PR for the Valley. Like what are the odds that you've been fine? But no, being on a show, and it's not even the national TV or the public or anything. It's the fact that you have all of these events with cast members that like it forces you to talk about your relationship. It forces you to like see your relationship,
analyze,
and see things that you might have just like brushed under the rug. But like if a friend sees something Jax said to you, and then we're on a show, so they need to talk about it more. Like it really speeds,
things you would swallow.
It just like accelerates things. And so I could see how being on a show would be bad for their relationship, not even just because of producers or television, but just because like you have to like stay in the weeds. Whereas I think without it, you just sort of don't harp on things like you would, but it's everyone's job to now harp on it.
Yeah, it's like not healthy, especially if the relationship is a little.
Yeah, but anyway. I think it's just an accelerant.
Yeah. Well, love that journey for you.
Well, that's that. There was no reunion, which I feel like.
It was. I feel like a lot of times, like the first season of a show, they don't get and if they do, it's like a fake Watch What Happens Live one.
But it didn't feel like a reunion, a first season, because it felt like
these are seasoned pros,
and it's a spin-off. And also, what was so interesting is Kristen pretty much gets like excommunicated from the group midway into the season for just like saying untrue stuff and like hearing something one way and saying it another way. Like it's so crazy, the game of telephone that goes on in just her head alone.
Yeah.
And the first half of the season when Kristen's like doing all the drama, I couldn't follow it. I'm like, I don't care what he said, she said, me said, she said. And then when she stops getting invited to stuff, the drama becomes about the people's relationships, like, and that was like the meat of the season. But I feel like all this like superficial reality TV stuff that Kristen was doing was sort of clouding it, and actually to a point where she was uniting Michelle and Jason, because they were like saying these things about her, and Michelle was like, weirdly, it's brought us closer together when like these two people don't even like each other anymore.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, the Valley. That's the Valley, guys.
And that's the toast, you guys.
That's the toast, you guys.
Thank you guys so much for listening to The Toast, the Millennium Morning Show, where we deliver the 5-star stories you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. We are also available as a podcast anywhere podcasts can be found. So that's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iHeartRadio, CastBox, all the places. Wherever you listen to podcasts, find us, The Toast. Leave a 5-star review about how beautiful, about how stunning, and about how wickedly talented we are.
Love ya. Toast merch drops tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Shop toastmerch.com. Make haste. Bye.